Thanks for coming, everybody. I'd like to introduce Sarah Baughman, the Evaluation and Research Leader at eXtension, and her presentation today is about Facebook Insights.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming, and thanks to all of you all who are live or watching this recording online. I'm going to be talking today about the new Facebook Insights. How many of you all have used Facebook Insights? Because I'm making some assumptions here about some. Okay. I'm making some assumptions about sort of your familiarity in general with using Insights. So for those of you all who haven't used Insights before, it's the built-in analytics tool basically for Facebook. And my goal here is to talk to you for about 12 to 15 minutes, and then we'll have a chance for questions. So just a couple of real basic things on Insights. In order to access the analytics, the Facebook Insights, you have to be an administrator on the page. So if you're having problems, you might check and make sure that you're actually an administrator on that page. It also has to be a fan page. It can't be a group page. For instance, with our community practice, we actually have a group page, so we can't run any analytics on it. And we had a little bit of discussion about that, and we decided that was okay because it was serving our purpose. And the old Insights was supposed to be no longer available as of January 1, but I think you can actually still download the CSV files in the old format, but I would recommend just using the new format. If you hadn't made that change yet, do it, because you can get good stuff. All right, so this is just kind of an overview of some of the changes. One of the things people often liked was that friends of fans metric, because it was usually really big, but it was kind of meaningless. They also no longer use the stories created metric, which I kind of like that one, but they have a better one now, I think. There's a whole new navigation bar, and that's what we're going to do today is kind of walk through that navigation bar in terms of, I'm going to use screenshots. There's some great new information on posts, reach, and engagement, which that engagement piece is really nice, I think. And you can still do the data export, and if you're somebody who, it's a bit, part of your responsibility is managing these Facebook pages, I would be downloading those monthly and looking at least monthly, and looking at them because you get more data when you download it into the spreadsheet than what you see on Insights. You get more data, in fact, than you ever wanted in your whole life. So this is what the new navigation bar looks like, and if you haven't looked at it, it's really quite different from the old one. And you'll see across the top, there's now sort of 6 different tabs that you can look at. Your overview, so this is what comes up initially, your overview page. And we'll talk about what you see with likes, reach, you all can read, etc., visits, posts. So just wanted to point out up there in the top right-hand corner where it says export data, that's where you can download the spreadsheets and look at all the great information that you can really drill down into and spend some fun time with, which we can't get into in our time period here. But and then the other thing to look for if you're new to using Insights, next to, when you see a little I, that's for information. So if you click on that, it will tell you what exactly they mean by post clicks, for instance. So getting into, this is another new feature which I really kind of like. It allows you to compare your page to similar pages. So you see here where it says add pages, that blue tab, you can, if there are pages that are similar to yours, like if you're a community of practice, you can kind of look at what other communities of practice are doing. And I don't mean that necessarily in a competitive way, but you can learn from what they're doing, what's working for them, and they can learn from you. So I would kind of encourage you to do that. So you can see here, this is, so I'm one of the administrators for the eXtension page on the bottom, and then above it comparing us to the CES page, Cooperative Extension page. And honestly, I don't actually spend all that much time in Facebook Insights anymore, but it is kind of a nice way to benchmark and see what they're doing. And, for instance, they've got more likes than we do. We have some more engagement. So, I spent a little time looking at their post page and the kind of posts they were making. And hopefully they're spending some time on other pages that have more engagement than they do, if that's their goal. It may not be their goal. And since I brought up the whole issue of goals, I'm not really talking about evaluation today. I'm talking just about this particular tool, but just sort of a reminder that when you're looking at your insights, be thinking about why you have this Facebook page. What is it you're trying to get out of it? Is it engagement? Is it reach? Is it a standalone marketing piece, or is it part of your overall program? Because that will help drive what data points are really going to be important to look at and track. So this is what the new likes page looks like, and you'll see up there in the top corner it says 1W, 1M, 1Q. So that's 1 week, 1 month, 1 quarter. So depending on how often you're tracking them, that's a nice way to get a quick screenshot or a quick shot of what's happening the last week, the last month, or the last quarter. Be sure and check your dates. Over there on the right-hand side, it says start and end. You can adjust those dates. I can't tell you how often I get in there and I start running stuff and then I realize I'm not looking at the dates that I think I'm looking at. So just be sure and check your dates. This one was just a month. I took all these screenshots of last week. And then, it just gives you your total page likes, and it's nice to see because it's a graph, and it's nice to see it's actually growing, so that's good. And every once in a while you get like a big spike, and so you can spend some time figuring out maybe what you did that was so successful you got a nice spike in page likes. And you'll see also there's a little piece that says benchmark, so you can compare over time how you're doing. Now, still within that likes tab, you can see how many times not just your page was liked, but where it came from. This is kind of interesting. The thing that I'm most interested in right now with our pages is that uncategorized mobile. So, we spend a lot of time talking about responsive design and how people are doing a lot of these things on mobile. So this is where I find out if that is actually the case. Now, these look like really nice big spikes, and you probably can't really see it, but the number at the top is 6. So, make sure you're really taking a good look at things like that, at your numbers. But it is interesting that for the most part, people are finding us either on our page or posts by other people. And you can spend time there on the right-hand side kind of going around and looking deeper into, like, for instance, the uncategorized mobile. Now, the next tab over is reach. You'll see it's highlighted in blue up there. And that just tells you more about likes, comments, and shares. And actually, I think it's kind of interesting because when I talk to people about reach versus engagement, I would consider comments and shares to actually be engagement because that involves some action. They're going back and forth with you. But to find them in the new Facebook Insights, you look under reach. And so you can just see the graphs charting over time. And where, typically where you're getting a spike in one, you're getting a spike in another. That kind of makes sense. And that's, just some basic stuff about what kind of activity is happening on your page. Visits. So this is telling you, this is just a shot of the external refers. So where people are getting referred to us from. So they're coming from this page to us. I was actually kind of surprised to see that a lot of people now with the new, well, it's not that new anymore, but the redesign of extension.org with all those social icons, people are coming to us more from extension.org, so that darker blue color there. I had to look up DuckDuckGo. I had no idea what that was. It's a search engine, but it's probably a topic for another time. But if you're a privacy kind of person, you might want to check out DuckDuckGo. This is also interesting, google.com.mx, I also had to look that up, that's Mexico. And then Malaysia, google.com.my, for whatever reason, it's showing up. So just sort of an interesting artifact that you could spend more time playing around in, but mostly it's just going to tell you where they came from. So the next tab, and this is a new tab, is posts. So this is telling you about the actual posts that you are making on your Facebook page. And the things that are nice here is it's telling you when your fans are online. Now for us, that's actually not terribly helpful information. If you look at the numbers, they're basically the same number of people online every day. Depending on who your audience is, that may be different. A lot of our audience has got to be extension professionals who are, many of whom are sitting in front of a computer a good part of the day, so they may just have their Facebook pages up. But the time information is also good. It's good to know when is a good time to post if you're really trying to extend your reach and you want people to see it. Again, for us, it's pretty much during the day. It's 9 to 5, Monday through Friday is where we're going to hit our people. You can also look more at post types and the top posts from the pages to watch. So that remember in the beginning where I showed you I was looking at the other cooperative extension page, and I have a few other pages to watch as well. So again, as a learning piece, not as a competitive piece, but as a learning piece to see, it'll show you what they're doing and what's working for them. So that may work for us, particularly since we have kind of a similar audience as that page. So we're still here in the post things, and this is post type. I think this is probably by far my favorite sort of upgrade to this new Facebook Insights. So these are the posts that we've made. The ones that have videos include video, the ones that include photo, and the one that include link. It is, I'm sure, no surprise to any of you all who do any work in Facebook that the posts that get the most reach and the most engagement are the ones with video. Followed by photos, followed by links. And I went in there because even sometimes you think you've posted a photo, but what you've actually posted is a link that has a photo, and that does make a difference. So you can see you're getting much less engagement with those on our pages right now with the links as opposed to the photo and the video. But my guess is this is pretty similar no matter who your audience is. People reach, so you can see, oh, shocking, it's our traditional audience, people who work for us. So I've got 5 minutes left, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you all might have about Facebook Insights. Oh, okay, well, then we have more time for questions because I started talking really fast. Yes? And we're using the microphone since this is being streamed.
Okay, I've read a couple articles that two people wrote that, and this was the old Insights, that Facebook underestimated. I mean, how reliable are the stats that you get?
Right. I take them at their face value because they're all we've got. So sometimes you got to work with what you got. And if anything, they're probably an underestimate as opposed to an overestimate would be my guess, especially with the new Insights. I don't know if any of the rest of you all have done more reading on that. Stan, have you done reading on? Yeah.
I think, for like, if you know your videos are coming from the same.
We got to give you a microphone.
Yeah, I think if you know your videos are coming from the same place, if you got YouTube, you can make a comparison, general comparison to the number of hits there,
right,
or to the links that you have. Looking at other analytics to bump that up, but otherwise I don't know.
Yeah, Molly. Hang on one second, Ben's got to come around with the microphone.
You showed where you could have your page compared to a similar page. Will you show where that was again?
Yeah. Add pages under pages to watch. So where did I find that? Add. I'll have to pull it up and figure out where. It should be pretty obvious. I'll have to pull that up for you, Molly. Does anybody else have any other questions? Yeah, Jeff. Hang on, Ben's got to bring you the microphone. This is how Ben's getting his workout today.
I just wanted to explore a little bit more about demographics. You had the one screen that showed just male, female. Is there any other demographic data available, or is it only because the only thing people put into Facebook is their gender? I mean, can we get anything else
right,
from this?
you used to be able to get, and actually now it might be under, yeah, this has age, but you you can get where people live.
Oh, now I see it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, so it's got, the ages are in here. Any other questions? That's okay. Hang on one second so we can bring you the microphone.
Okay. So I was curious, there's a lot of programs in Utah through the university that are similar in some of their outreach, and is there a way for another page to post on my page but not go into the minor screen of in the corner of guests posts, instead to go on the main screen but as their own organization?
No.
Darn. Okay.
Unless you make them an administrator of your page, and then they can post on your page.
But the post would show up as my
like
own
as your
initiative.
post. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So the way you can do that? Did you want to talk about how you do that, Alda? Is that? You can share it. Yeah, so the way to do that is for you to share it from their page on to your page. So, but sometimes, yeah, I know, it would be nice sometimes if you could give certain people permission to do that, but without them being an administrator, you can't.
And I found a simple way to share from other pages is to work as your page
Yes.
and like their page so that it shows up in your news feed. So you can just do a quick scan down your news feed and share it, and it makes it really simple.
Great tip, thank you.
I have another dumb question. Just in terms of how do you reach the insights? It's not showing up on my Facebook page.
Okay, so you
So,
have
you
to
jumped
be,
right into that, and I
right.
didn't know how to do it.
Is it your personal page or is it a?
Well, just for funds, I pulled up my personal page, but
Yeah, so you can't get any insights on your personal page. It's a profile. That's a profile page. So you can only get the insights on a fan page
fan page.
or like an organizational page.
And then
That's-
it's just on the top. There's a
yeah,
pull
it'll
down or
say
something?
it says insights and it keeps moving around. Otherwise, I would tell you where it was. So if I have a second here, can I get online? Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah, so it's going to say up at the top now, it says See Insights. Yeah, hold on.
Even if you just log in as yourself and you're not on your fan page yet, if you go up to the URL after you're logged in and change it to facebook.com/insights, it'll show you all the pages you manage and it'll take you directly to the insights just by clicking on it.
Good tip. The other thing I really recommend for folks who are, if it's your job to manage the page and track the metrics, and I mean, even if your job is not to track the metrics, if you're managing a page, you should be interested in what's working and what's not working. That's kind of the reason to get into Insights. You need to do it kind of consistently over time. So if you pick the time period that makes sense to you, probably at least every month. If it's a really active page, you might want to do it every week and do it consistently over time. And that's part of what I like about being able to download the data, because then I just pull the pieces that I like, I drop them into another spreadsheet. If you have a lot of administrators, you can drop them into a Google spreadsheet. So you're gathering that data over time, because things spiking one week may or may not keep spiking, and you want to see those spikes go up, and when they come back down, you want them to be above where they started. That makes sense. Can you follow that? That makes a lot of sense, right? You want to, slowly gradual increase mostly, but you've got to track it, the same metrics consistently over time. That can be a little bit of a frustration with Facebook because they tend to change metrics, but I think we've actually stayed consistent with the new insights for like 3 months now, so that might be a
Got time
record.
for a couple more questions.
Sarah, is there any way for someone that follows your page to make sure that they get your news feed? Because you may have so many fans, but if you look and it just reached maybe a third, and I
Yes.
know that Facebook does that, so you'll pay to
Yes, to
promote.
add.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, what about searching a Facebook page? Is there any way, if you put up lots of photos and somebody wants to search for a particular topic, I know they can browse, but is there any way to search?
So the first question is if people can make sure they're getting you in their news feed, and the answer to that is yes. When they go to like your page, it'll pop up with a little box underneath, and so they also need to click follow. Then your stuff will show up in their news feed. And when Facebook first did that, you might have seen a lot of people, we made some posts on some of our pages, make sure to follow and like us, so that way it shows up in their news feed. Now, I have not, and I don't know if some of you all spend more time in Facebook than I do, I don't think you can search within a page. You can search all of Facebook, but I don't think you can search within the actual page. I think you have to do the old scroll. Am I wrong, Aldo?
No, and that's why we take time every month to organize our pictures into albums to make it easier for people to find stuff.
Yes. Yeah, if they liked and they didn't follow, was the question, you can go back retroactively. And sometimes just from your own personal pages, you can check on that as well. But yeah, they can go back and change it.
I think that's time.
That's time. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. I hope that was helpful.